Have you been struggling with your makeup, not really knowing how much product to use, where to place it, and what brushes to use? Well, don't you worry, I'll be talking you guys through in my step-by-step guide called Back to Basics. In this guide, I'll be sharing my step-by-step of where I place my makeup, the brushes I use to ensure a flawless base every single time. If this sounds like you, hi, my name is Aisha, and I'm going to walk you through my Back to Basics guide. Let's get into it. Now, I already went and did my eyebrows off camera, but if you guys are interested, I do have a shorts of how I do my eyebrows, so do check that out. So I'm going to be starting off with skin prep, and the first product I'm going to be going in with is my Lancome Hydrozen. I absolutely love this stuff. Super hydrating. I am a dry skin girly, so ensuring that I've gotten my skin completely moisturized prior to doing my makeup is exactly the best thing for me. Swiftly moving on to the next step in our prep, you want to go in with a blurring primer. I have the Danessa Myricks blurring balm, which is incredible. I think if you haven't heard of this product yet, you are most definitely sleeping under a rock. It is so good. So I'm just going to put my finger to the product and I'm going to apply it to all of the places that I have shown on my placement map. Now, I tend to be a lot more oily in my T-zone, so I do tend to focus the product in my T-zone areas and nowhere else, because if I did use this product everywhere on my face, I would be dry, and that is not what I want as someone with dry skin. And then I'm going to be going in with the e.l.f. Hydra Grip Primer everywhere else on my face, because I need my makeup products to stick to my skin. And the trick with applying this product is that you want to apply it like you're applying a thin layer of like a face mask. You don't want to actually rub it into your skin, because then you won't be able to get that tacky effect and the product will have nothing to grip to. Now, I've waited a few minutes for that to go a little bit tacky, and I'm going to go in with my House Labs foundation. This is the Triclone foundation. I absolutely love this stuff. I'm just going to put 2 pumps either side. As you can see, they're not massive pumps, they're quite small pumps. And then from that, we're going to go in with a dense brush to blend it into the skin. And remember, you want to tap it into place, not swipe. This makes a massive difference to the finish of your foundation, and I highly recommend tapping instead of swiping. Now, you may have noticed I've missed the under eye section and the top lip, and this is because you don't want to build up the product here, because we're going to be going in with concealer later. So to avoid that cakiness, I'm just going around those areas. So now that we've applied the foundation, we're going to be going in with bronzer. My favorite is the one by Jordana Tisha. In my opinion, it's the best one on the market. There just isn't good bronzers anymore, in my opinion. I just feel like if you're a dark skin girl and you're looking for something that's going to be warm and rich and actually warm up your skin, the best product on the market is this one. So I'm actually going in with a brush from Jordana Tisha. This is kind of like a paw. It's perfect at hugging your cheek when you're applying the product. So I'm just going to tap the brush into the cream product here. And then I'm going to place it slightly higher than where my actual cheekbone is. This is so just in case it does blend a bit backwards when we're blending it out, it doesn't go too far down and brings the face downward. A lot of the time when it comes to your makeup, again, it's all about the placement, and my placement map will show that the higher the placement of your product, the more of a snatched look you're going to get. Make sure you're blending it into your hairline. And if you are a wig wearer, I highly recommend using a smaller brush just so you're able to kind of blend it into the front of the lace, as opposed to making it look all cakey along the lace line. I'm then taking a slightly smaller brush. This is from HMB Cosmetics. This is their F10 brush. I'm just going to use that to help me with carving out my nose. And what I like to do is I like to take the product down the sides of my nose and bring it up into my eye socket bone. I don't really know what you would call that. And kind of like make this shape that helps with like contouring. This to me is kind of like my cheat of doing eyeshadow, because you're able to kind of get this eyeshadow look without applying eyeshadow. And I do this every single time I do my makeup. And then just on the button of the nose, just like that. Now it's time for blush, and today I think I'm actually going to go in with my Rare Beauty blushes. I haven't used these in a while. We've got the shade Alive and we've got the shade Thriving. I'm going in with this small dense brush. Again, it's from HMB Cosmetics. This is their P08 brush. So we're going in with Thriving first. I'm going to place this high up on my temple. I'm going to make a bit of an ombre with the 2 blushes. So I'm placing my pinky shade more on the temple part of my cheekbone. This particular product is a cream to powder formula, but I would definitely replace this with a liquid or a cream blush. I always say when it comes to your blush, you never want to go past your nose. I just feel like when it comes too low, it becomes a little bit unattractive. So just try to keep it as high as possible. Now we're going in with the shade Alive, and we're just going to bring that towards the center of the cheek. You want to just keep it just slightly below your eye, and this is going to create this beautiful sort of like sunset blush that I absolutely adore. I feel like if there's two blush shades that a dark skin girl has in her makeup kit, it's an orange and a berry shade blush, and these two just do that perfectly. Right, so now we're going to go in with concealer, and I'm using the H&B Cosmetics Soft Focus Concealer. This is a full coverage concealer, and to be honest with you, I do prefer concealers that are more medium to full coverage, because then you're able to sort of sheer them out. I'm just going to go ahead and follow my placement map with the rest of the concealer. So I've left the concealer on just for a little bit, and I'm going to blend that out with my favorite brush from Kylie Cosmetics. This is their 02 brush. It's angled, so it's able to get into all those little crevices and blend out your concealer perfectly. You want to remember to blend your concealer into your blush so you get a really nice ombre and it doesn't have a really harsh line between the blush and the concealer. Now this is when you want to go back with your foundation brush and you want to blend your bronzer, and you want to use that tapping motion I spoke about earlier. You want to blend your bronzer into your concealer, and this is so that it's not too harsh. Obviously we want to have a really nice bronzer, but I like to just make sure it's not too harsh. So we're just going over that nose bronze. And then what you want to do is between the forehead and the concealer is you want to marry those products together by stamping the brush and getting an ombre between the concealer and our bronzer that's on the forehead. You then want to go back in with your blush brush and blend your blush into your concealer. Again, don't go past your nose. Notice how I'm not going in with any more product because we don't need to. The product is super pigmented and you're able to just get a really nice ombre between the concealer and the blush. I almost forgot, if you're the sort of baddie that enjoys a bright under eye, I have a lighter shade of concealer here. This one's from L'Oreal, and I'm just going to apply that to the inner corner. Honestly, you don't need to place it anywhere else. Just keep it super concentrated in this area here. And then you want to go back in with your concealer brush and blend that out. That's what gives you that really nice bright under eye. I'm going to use what's remaining on the brush to just go down the bridge of my nose. This is just so everything in the center can be cohesive, and then just on the tip. And then you also want to blend your bronzer back in to your blush. Now setting spray, I'm going in with Dewy Bounce from the Beauty Crop. And you just want to allow that to air dry. So this is what your makeup should look like once you've set it with setting spray. You want to make sure you've got a absolutely seamless blend across your face before you set it with powder. I'm now going to be going in with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder. Today I'm actually going to go in with my Peach Pie. So I'm going to tap my puff into the powder, tap the excess onto the back of my hand, and the trick here is that what you want to do is work with less product. Less is more when it comes to this step, because you can build it up. And then I'm just going to tap the product underneath my eye and follow it up into my temple where we placed our concealer. So you basically want to follow the placement map of where we put the concealer and set all of that in place. And that is the sort of finish that you get. Super airbrushed and super flawless. I prefer to apply my setting powders with a puff just because I feel like I have more control. And also I've been using setting powder with a puff the whole time that I've been doing it. And so I feel like I've definitely gotten a lot better with it. But like I say, less is more. Work with less product. Again, because you're tapping it on the back of your hand, you have the control, so you can apply less or more product. Now I'm going with slightly dense but fluffy brush and my Kosas Cloud Set powder. This is in the shade Dreamy, which is more of a complexion, looks like my foundation basically. And I'm basically going to dust this everywhere on my face. So this lower part of my jaw, across my lid, down my nose bridge, just basically everywhere that's not where I place my concealer or my blush. And this is just so we can mattify my entire face before we warm it up with bronzer. This step to me is what ensures that your base looks absolutely flawless. We're now going to go in with a dense angled brush, and I'm going to tap that into the powder bronzer. Again, this Jordana Tisha bronzer absolutely slaps. Cream on top, powder bronzer on the bottom, and they both match. It's perfect. And you basically just want to place that everywhere where you placed your bronzer, cream bronzer earlier. And you will notice as I apply this that we add that warmth back into the skin. Now I'm going to go in with my favorite blush right now. The Huda Beauty blush in Roseberry is just tea. I absolutely love her. I literally haven't stopped using this blush since I got it. And again, you just want to focus it in that sort of top section here, and I'm basically going on all of the shades here, avoiding the highlighter shade, just so we can get that in that top portion that's closest to my temple. And then I'm going to take this dark shade from the Toasty Peach palette, because it's the only shade that I can really use, the bottom part of this blush, so we can get that ombre that I mentioned earlier. And remember, don't go past the nose. Oh, I just love blush. I'm then going to take my Fenty Beauty Bright Fix in the shade Peach, and this is my Huda Under Eye Buff Brush, and I'm basically going to tap it into the product and brighten up the inner corner section of my eye. I'm literally not going to move the product from this center section here. I'm just going to use the brush to basically blend my under eye into the blush, but just keep it concentrated in this section. I love a peach undertone product, and in my opinion, if you are a dark skinned girl, stray away from the yellows, introduce yourself to peaches. I'm telling you now, your life will change forever. I am just going to use whatever's left on that brush just to highlight the middle of the bridge of my nose and the tip of my nose. Again, it's just for the cohesion so that the brightness is centralized in the middle and then spreads on its way out. Then we're going to go in with some setting spray. This is Cherie from the Beauty Crop. I like to drench myself in this, I'm not gonna lie, because I love to have glowy skin, and Cherie guarantees to get me that glowy skin every single time. But I'm just gonna allow that to air dry. I'm gonna go in with another layer of Dewy Bounce. Right, so now that's done, I'm gonna go in with my Benefit Power Powder, and I'm gonna use an incredibly fluffy brush because I really don't need much of this. And then I'm just gonna dust that on my lids, in between my brows, and then just the center of my nose. And this is a super mattifying powder. I love this stuff. I've been using it literally for about a year now. And that just ensures that even though we have set the face, everywhere that's kind of like glowy, just don't want this section to be too glowy. So I'm just gonna go in with that powder there. Perfect, and you guys can see that is super, super seamless. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my brows back to life with my NYX brow pen, because you tend to lose your brows underneath the powders when you apply them. So I'm just gonna carve out the tail of my brow and make sure that's super prominent with the makeup. Such a small step, but it makes such a big difference. All right, so I've done my lashes and my lip combo off camera. So if you guys are interested, I will make sure to upload a shorts showing you guys exactly how I do them. But this is the finished look. I absolutely love how my makeup has come together. I use these steps every single time I do my makeup, and this is the finish that I get. I absolutely love it. If you guys try out my makeup technique, please do let me know. I feel like the placement maps help so much when you're a beginner. So hopefully this helps you find your feet when it comes to applying your makeup. If you guys do have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. I'm just getting into the swing of actually posting long form videos for you guys. I am a shorts baddie. So if you guys are missing my face in my long form content, don't you worry. Check out my shorts. I post literally every single day. I hope you guys enjoyed this step-by-step guide, and I'll be posting a lot more makeup related content really soon. Like and subscribe, and if you've made it this far into the video, leave me a heart emoji in the comments. I can't wait to talk to you guys down in the comment section a little bit later, but I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.